for this tour to the Harris Theatre, we will bring two productions from our repertoire. The Third Symphony of Gustav Mahler, which we originally had planned to present 2 years ago, in a sense to bring back what Chicago lost the last time. And as a great contrast to this symphonic piece, a dramatic work based on the play of Shakespeare, Othello. I think that for me, returning basically the third time to the Harris Theatre, it's very important that when we begin to know each other, we begin to know the public of Chicago, to show the breadth of our repertoire. And therefore, a piece like Othello, which is a dramatic piece, which is absolutely does not fit into the form of the 19th century dramatic ballet. It breaks the form completely already from point of view of music, the different pieces of music which are used in it, the way the theater itself becomes part of the action in the piece, I think fits extremely well into this theater, which seems to me to present classical music, classical dance, but in a sense, in a way which is particular, which doesn't reflect a kind of theater, let's say, which imposes itself as part of the action. I think that Shakespeare, for me, and not only for me, I think, is the greatest source of inspiration for a choreographer, which sounds strange in a sense, because great literary work, but it's a great literary work which in a sense can be understood without words. I think that the reason Shakespeare, over 400 years, has continued to be this source for choreography or wordless theater is the fact that although we have the extraordinary texts that he wrote, there is something behind these texts which is more important, in which we have to bring our common humanity to understand. And I think that it is, each of the plays is very different. Othello is realized, or I have realized it, in a completely different form than I have Hamlet or Romeo and Juliet or Midsummer Night's Dream. It is a completely different movement world. But that is also the genius of Shakespeare, that the image, the essence of the play, the essence of the characters and the human situations is so profound and timeless that it can be reinterpreted in thousands of ways. Well, I think if we consider Othello, important was, first of all, I think place is very important in the play of Shakespeare, Othello. I think the fact that it begins in Venice, an extremely developed civilization in the Renaissance, goes to Cyprus, a strange place, so that the character of Desdemona, who in the beginning is at home, has points of reference, has friends, faces isolation. I think that to establish this, there were two things that were important. One was to establish contrasts in the first part between a Renaissance world and, to say it in a very bold way, a savage world. So I was very interested as I was working on it. I happened to be visiting Brazil, and so there is some Brazilian folk music as well as Brazilian music written by a Brazilian composer, which is used in the first part. I think there is on the other side, the emotional level, which is extremely important. And at this level, we are introduced to the real relationship between Desdemona and Othello in Arvo Pärt's music, A Mirror in the Mirror, which then becomes the main music of the second part. When we part from, in a sense, from civilization and are in a place of pure emotion,